What was your daily life like with digestive issues? Well, it was a struggle. Like my internal GPS was permanently set to find the nearest restroom, if you know what I mean. So it was not fun. It was always in the back of my mind, thinking all the time about am I gonna be okay or not. Also, my sleep was not really good. What were your biggest frustration with your health at this time? I think the most frustrating thing are the contradictions. People say different things, books say different things. You look on YouTube, you will find contradicting tips. So this is frustrating. Which foods caused you the most trouble? The trouble trio, which is meat, dairy, and eggs. And when I say meat, I'm talking about everything that was living before, like fish, shrimps, and all that jazz. Obviously, junk food was a big problem too. What was your relationship with exercise back then? I always liked to do sports. I played hockey for the longest time on ice and in a gym. I did a lot of mountain biking especially. I played ultimate frisbee during 2 years. This was a really cool sport. I miss that sport. I was injured, so had to stop. Obviously now I'm climbing. What solutions have you tried before? I tried a lot of things. Like, I know guys out there that have problems. You tried many things, like, I don't know, different diets, paleo, keto, and everything you will find in books and online. I tried all those things, but nothing was really working. Slight improvement, but all in all, it was not solving the problem. What first drew you to consider a plant-based diet? That's a good question. Obviously, the fact that I was not healthy was my source of motivation. The main moment, the main thing that was at the origin of my transformation was when I talked to a guy named Josh. So hi Josh, if you're listening. And this guy was living in Spain at the time. And basically, he explained to me that he was eating pretty much fruits, almost only fruits. And I thought to myself, you can do that? I was surprised, I was shocked with all the typical questions like, are you gonna lack proteins? So on and so forth. But I consider my life an experiment. I thought to myself, what the hell, I'm gonna try it. I saw so many people being sick around me. Those people were either dead or really not in good shape, taking medications, lacking good sleep. I didn't want to end up like this, and my problems might end up as a colon cancer. I didn't want that. What was the hardest part about transitioning? Obviously, cleaning my diet, removing junk food was not easy. Those scientists in labs, they are doing a good job. For me, stopping eating chips was a challenge. French fries was a challenge. It's still a challenge, to be honest. But the biggest thing, and I know it's the biggest thing for a lot of people, was dairy. Most of us, we are addicted to dairy. So I visited a farm and I saw what was the typical life of a cow. And from this day, I knew I had to stop. I didn't want to contribute to this reality. It's just too sad. How quickly did you notice changes in your body? Well, pretty fast. It's surprising. As soon as I stopped the trouble trio that I mentioned, meat, dairy, and eggs, I saw a lot of improvement. My skin was clearer. My digestive issues were gone, which is for me a big thing. So yeah, pretty fast, and my shape was getting better quickly. What unexpected benefits did you discover? Well, this is a good one. Um, Josh told me that when you stop eating meat and junk food and all those toxic things really for the body, you won't be smelling as bad as before. And I had a hard time under my armpit. I was sweating a lot. It was a problem at a point in my life. I remember I was using this thing. I think it was called Perspirex, and this thing is bad. You don't use that. I don't remember. Might be like 40% aluminum. Shouldn't be, getting aluminum in our body. This is so toxic. So yeah, I was trying a lot of things, but Josh told me that you can use just a little bit of bicarb, like a fine powder. You put it under your armpit, and it works. It really works. I was blown away. And now, in the beginning, I had to test this thing because I was getting a little bit of rashes, but you just keep with it. You adjust a little bit more, a little bit less, and now sometimes I can be 2 days without putting this bicarb, and it works like a charm. And I'm climbing 3 times a week, so it says a lot. Which resources helped you the most during your transition? The first thing is documentaries like What the Health, Cowspiracy, Hurtlings, all those. You should take a look. It's not fun to watch, but you learn a lot. You realize how the industry works. Every time you're going to the grocery store and you're buying something, we don't think about these things. And in school, they don't talk about that either. So once you realize what you're doing really, what kind of things you are ingesting, you realize a lot. Obviously, the people that I listened to that made the transition, this was really, really helpful, because you want to have people that are already ahead of you in this journey, and they will tell you what mistakes they made, how's it going for them, what are the challenges. So these resources really, really help me. How did your family and friends react to your lifestyle change? Pretty well, I'm gonna say. Some of them were a little bit worried, like, are you gonna get enough proteins? And all those typical questions. But they know me. I try things. Like I said before, I experiment. If it doesn't work, I'm not gonna continue in the same way. So yeah, pretty good. What kept you motivated? Well, it was easy for me because my digestive issues were gone. It was quite enough. So motivation was not a problem. What was your biggest breakthrough moment? When I stopped eating dairy. It was a big thing. Like I said before, we are addicted, especially the cheese. Most people are addicted to cheese. And when you stop consuming dairy, in the beginning you can make a transition with plant-based dairy. It's not real dairy, it's not real cheese, but it's gonna taste a bit similar. Some of those products are really not good, but some are. So yeah, you have options. You should try that. It was a big moment for me, and I saw this cow in my mind when I went to the farm, And I was happy because from this point forward, I was able to say I'm not supporting the dairy industry anymore, which was a big win. How has your energy level changed since going plant-based? It's night and day. It really is night and day. I'm 42 years old and I climb with 20 years old guy. I feel like I'm 20. I really do. I have a better shape than when I was 20. So energy level through the roof. What drew you to climbing specifically? When I was a kid, I always liked to climb. Some of you might be exactly the same. I was climbing trees. I was even doing my homeworks in trees. So that was fun. Then after the COVID shit show, which is my way to name that whole thing. After that, near the place where I teach, there was a gym opening up. So I thought, oh yeah, let's try this climbing thing. And I started climbing, and I knew straight away, like, okay, this is the sport. I can do it alone because bouldering it's just perfect. You don't need a partner, you don't need a rope, you don't need nothing. You just need your shoes and a little bit of chalk. So if you're not a climber, you should try it. Like, it's really fun. How does your plant-based diet support your climbing? It supports my climbing really well. I know when I eat clean, which is most of the time, and if you want to label me right now, I'm pretty much raw vegan. I don't like labels though. Sometimes I cheat. I can have a little, vegan pizza sometimes, and still a little bit of French fries, which is my challenge right now. But it does support my climbing pretty well. I eat mostly fruits, so before I climb, a lot of fruits. I think it's perfect. Smoothies work so well. I love smoothies. What's your favorite pre-climbing meal? Well, I already said it. Fruits, like a banana, clementine, can be apples. I also bring coconut water, organic coconut water. I think it's perfect when you climb. And that's pretty much it. What would you tell someone struggling with similar issues? There's hope. There is hope. Like, you're not alone. I was not alone in that situation. You can solve your problem by yourself. Don't give your power to somebody else. Research, and also don't believe everything I'm saying to you. You have to test it by yourself. Be a scientist. Do the science on yourself. Try things. See how you feel. The first thing you should do, go with the trouble trial. Remove meat, dairy, and eggs and see what happens. Do this for a month, which is a big challenge, I know, but you'll be glad you did it. How has this journey changed your perspective on health? It changed everything. I don't see any advices the same way as before. Now I know. I don't think I know. There's a lot of crap out there. A lot of people are telling you things, and it's not for your health. It's for money. You should take a good look on your plate and just think where those things come from. Because when you eat meat, for example, and I'm not judging anyone, by the way, I did that for the longest time, but when you eat meat, what you are consuming really is dead flesh, rotting dead flesh. If you want to put a label on things to help you transition, just think about that. I'm eating rotting dead flesh. And many people like to say they are building a character in their mind. They say, I'm like a lion, I'm a carnivore. You're not a carnivore. If you were a carnivore, you would kill the beast yourself. You would be drinking the blood. We are more, when we are consuming that meat, we are more like vultures. And we are not vultures. I mean, you see my wings? So it changed everything. I don't see health the same way. I question everything. What's your typical daily meal plan now? I'm getting to a point where it's quite easy. I like simplicity. I don't like to spend a lot of time, prepping stuff. I like to cook, but I have a lot of projects. I want to spend time with my girlfriend. I want to spend time climbing. I want to do a good job when I'm teaching. I want to do a good job with this project. I think it's a cool project. I think, honestly, I can help a lot of people. So in the morning, I don't eat. I skip breakfast. So it's simple. Except on the weekends with my girlfriend, I make a big bowl of fruits and smoothies. Simple, yet really good. And you are not in inflammation at the beginning of the day. I remember back in the days when I was eating eggs, sausages, bacon, you feel like crap, like you want to sleep, and you just started the day. This is crazy. So that's my breakfast. So either I continue to fast, because when you think about it, break fast. During the night you were fasting, and you are breaking this fast. So I'm not breaking the fast, I'm just continuing. During the day when I work, I bring a ton of fruits. I bring kiwis, apples. The kids in my classroom, they are always surprised by the number of apples that I'm eating every day. Like 8 apples a day. Bananas, clementine, coconut water. I'm eating what's good, the freshest thing. My favorite season, obviously, is summer. And where I live, which is a pretty cool place, I live in Canada, in the province of Quebec. During the summer, the nicest thing are the watermelons. There's a local farmer. I love those watermelons, and they are not the typical watermelon, because now the only thing you can buy are those seedless watermelons, and those are not good for us. This is not normal. You should have seeds in your watermelon. And in the evening, this is my biggest meal. Right now, one of my favorite meal is just to cut cucumbers, tomatoes. I put chickpeas in a bowl, sesame seeds, bit of lime juice, salt, pepper. That's my typical meal. Oh, and my favorite thing right now is just avocados. Avocados? I don't know. Avocados with salt. It's delicious. How has becoming a plant-based climber shaped your identity? Like I said before, I'm not a big fan of labels, but if I have to put a label on me, plant-based climber sounds pretty good. It is interesting because I have a passion for climbing and I have a passion for health. So I love this label. And the fact that I convince myself that's who I am. It's easier to eat clean, improve my climbing, improve everything. What are your future goals in both climbing and health? For climbing, it's easy. My first goal is to climb forever. I want to climb, until I die. I've been climbing for 2 years right now. I'm only doing indoor bouldering. So I want to do other things. I want to go outside, do rock climbing. I want to do lead climbing. I want to learn everything. And I want to improve at a steady pace, avoiding injuries. Those are my goals for climbing. Regarding health, I know what the destination is. The destination is to be able to grow everything myself. For example, if I stay here in this cold climate, I will find a way to have a lot of apple trees, find a way to grow a lot of berries during the summer, like raspberries, strawberries, blueberries, and to have enough so I can freeze them and be able to consume them during winter. It's the same thing for apples. You can have a root cellar and keep everything there. So that's my goal. I want to be able to know what was in that soil, how it grew. So that's my goal. But in the short term, I want to get better with raw vegan thing. Remove completely French fries, which is my little enemy right now. Let's put it that way. Yeah, so these are my goals. So you know what they say about change. It's scarier than a horror movie marathon at first. But just like climbing, you take it one hole at a time. And before you know it, you're looking down from the top, wondering why you didn't start sooner.